What's going on, everybody? This is Oliver Twixt, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty, here to do the Lord's work once again. And I'm joined by a very, very, very special guest, the icon, the legend living, the man who is the reason why Oliver Twixt is here today. Funky Dineva, aka Quentin Latham, everybody.
Hey y'all, what's the tea, honey?
Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go. Everybody go.
First of all, boss man, thank you so much for doing this with me. It means so much for you to be my final guest over here on my channel.
You are welcome. Final guest, final episode.
Listen, I'm just gonna put it out there. You know, I always do this every opportunity I get. I want to give Quentin Latham, Funky Dineva, all the flowers, all the roses, all the kisses, all the hugs for being the person who I will always credit who jump-started my career. I am forever grateful. He is the one who opened the door for me, single-handedly opened the door for me and allowed me to walk into a world that I enjoy so much today. So I will always be so grateful and thankful for you being that to me.
I'm honored. You're welcome.
And listen, you could never Mariah me. Never Mariah me.
I wouldn't do you how she did them girls trying to make them bow down to her and take all their money, but that's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic.
So we jump down to the season finale of the TS Madison Experience, and we are in Miami where we see TS wrapping up with her dad after having a very emotional conversation. What did you think when you saw this?
You know, Madison is my homegirl, and I don't ever want a wedge to be drawn between she and I because I talk about her family members or whatever, but I think her dad is trash. I just think he's trash.
I agree.
And not because of his stance on the trans stuff, right? Because in the Black community, you know, listen, many of us just come from a place where people don't know any better. You know, church indoctrination, being from the South, you know, he called her possessed. He implied that something must have happened. I mean, those of us who are in the community, we've heard these things before. And those of us who are mature enough to understand, we know that it's just an ignorance on a lot of people's part. That wasn't the part that bothered me. It was two parts that bothered me. When he made a comment about not wanting to lower his class.
Right.
In order to address Madison as her or as Madison and not as Tim. I'm looking at, you don't want to lower your class, so somehow she's a class beneath you now. Like, it was very telling, and he was sitting up there just talking like he was saying something so poetic. It just sounded ignorant as all fuck. But the thing that bothered me the most was that you had a person standing in front of you, all but begging you to just love them. You were reluctant to do so because it's going to lower your class, but yet you didn't have enough class to not ask me for money. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
How can I be demonic and all this other shit, but you want to ask me to buy you a whole truck?
For a truck. And from my understanding, just through talking to Madison and Miss Mary, this man hasn't really been around, didn't help Miss Mary financially or whatever the case may be. So I just don't understand how somebody that you have very minimal relationship with, that you think is demonic and possessed, that you can fix your lips and ask them to co-sign or give you money for a truck. I give you every penny. If that ain't the fucking broke, if that ain't the broke clown lying every time somebody asks you, I'll give you your money back. Child, please. Madison would have signed for that damn truck and wouldn't have heard from that man at all, because he strike me as the type that have been like, that's my child, I'm your daddy, and you should do this for me.
Right.
Because he's sitting here looking at Madison thinking she's rolling in dough or whatever the case may be. And it just, I don't know. that class thing, if you had any class and decency about yourself, you wouldn't have asked a child that you had a minimal presence in their life for any type of money. If anything, your ass would be giving her money.
And why would you want to even start the beginning of y'all new relationship with such high level of utility?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, okay, we're gonna be cool, we're gonna do this, and now that we're cool, can you sign?
Got me a club.
Right, that's some Miami shit if I ever seen it.
I mean, it was the audacity for me.
Full
And I'm like, sir, this don't feel wrong to you?
which almost makes me say, and my mom had to make me realize this too, Quentin. She was like, just imagine if y'all dads or someone like him was actually in her life as she was growing up. Who's to say what she would have became or what could have happened to her? It probably was better off for Madison that he was not around while she was growing up.
Truthfully, I mean, it probably was, but I mean, it probably was from a spiritual perspective, from a educational perspective, from a life influence perspective. But I know I'm assuming, or it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that it had to be challenging for Miss Mary, at least financially, you know, with him not contributing. I mean, children are expensive, so it's just I don't know. It would just seem to me that his focus would be more on trying to foster a relationship with Madison, and then for those of us who want to follow the ignorant train and say people are gay because they don't have no daddies in their lives, or people are trans because they don't have no daddies in your life, nigga, it is your fault.
Right.
Following
Right.
the train of thought. Maybe if you was in Madison's life, which I know is not the truth. I know you're born that way, but following that street, stupid, ignorant nigga Liberty City logic,
Mathematics.
maybe if your ass was around, things would have been different.
And then as we move along, we see in the next scene, Madison meets with her brothers, Pookie and Norris, and they are basically talking about pronouns and how they address her. What did you think about that?
So first of all, let me say I love Pookie and Norris. I met both of them at our Miami show one time, and it made me light up, like just how in support of Madison that they were. And especially because coming from Miami, Florida, like all my life, all I heard was faggot, sissy, punk, man. Don't be around me with that faggot shit. You know.
Yep.
I know how Miami men are. You know what I'm saying? Especially from the inner city. Just there was not a whole bunch of representation for the community. So for them to be out of Miami and just be so open and loving and accepting, I thought it was great. I think that me and Madison had a brief conversation, me, Madison, and Miss Mary. And while I hate what happened with Madison and her father, I think that it was good that that was shown on television to turn a mirror on ignorant parents and let them see how your reluctance, your inability to learn is affecting your child. But then also, too, it gave them a roadmap on how to have some of these conversations about pronouns and stuff. Because let's face it, you know, you go 18 years of your life calling someone Tim, him, he, his. You know, it is a learning curve.
It's hard.
Adjustment period.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? On the trans person side and the family side. I think I heard Miss Mary say one time, and she was tearing up. I forgot they was doing an interview or something, and she pointed out to Madison that she said something along the lines of, you know, you go out here making decisions, or you know, life changes without any regard for how it affects other people and the people around you. And while that is a semi-selfish stand to take, because at the end of the day, it's that person's life, but other people are affected by it.
And you know, boss man, that idea became so apparent, and I was able from that day to start giving compassion to people like Miss Mary when we shot that scene in Miss Mary's house when we first got there. They cut a lot out, but Miss Mary was like crying. She was like almost begging to Madison, like, okay, I understand this is you, this is your story, but I'm still your parent who had to like see you like this, who had to hear people talk about you, who had to endure and experience all of your emotional roller coasters, like it still had an effect on me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it affects everybody. But this was the show, if for no other reason alone. I mean, I like that it showed the intricacies of this state of being within the Black family, and not like some rich and fabulous, unattainable family, but just an everyday, regular, working class, typical Black family. I think it was very important, and it is definitely groundbreaking in that regard.
And on a personal level, I was really happy to see Madison finally stand up to those people, because as someone who's always around her, so of course I'm always around her family, and I love Pookie and Norris. Like, they are so accepting. They are so cool. They so loving. Like, they treat me like I'm blood. But it used to wreck my nerves to hear them like slip up and say Tim or he, and like she just be okay with it. So I was happy to finally see her tell them, y'all stop calling me that. Like, it's not cool. I don't like it. Stop calling me that. So the gang makes it back to Atlanta. But before we make it back to Atlanta, I just want to say, I love WeTV. I love y'all. World of Wonder, I love y'all. WeTV, I love y'all. But I got to slap y'all on the ass just for 2 seconds. How in the hell are y'all going to promote for 3 weeks this big RV argument and then cut it out?
Oh, yeah, it didn't happen.
They cut it out.
The one where Miss Mary was cussing?
Yes.
Oh man, I wonder why that. Yeah, that is weird that they promoted it but didn't show it.
Boss man, we was on that bitch cussing. Maybe that's probably what it was. It probably was too damn expensive to cut out all the cuss words, because we was cussing. Just to give people a truncated story of what happened. Chi did something. I didn't like it. Something had already happened. Personally, my mom had gotten a car accident that day, like literally got in a car accident while we was filming. Like, I had to step out of the scene, find out she and goddamn Grady. Anyways, Chi do something, I get mad. Me and Chi start going back and forth. Then Madison and Chi start going back and forth. Then Madison and Oliver going back and forth with Chi, and all of a sudden Mary stands up on her knees in the chest and says, "No, y'all fuck this shit. Fuck this shit, boss man."
Miss Mary said, "I ain't always been saved, okay?"
Well, anyways, we're back in Atlanta, and Madison comes home to a finished basement. What you thought about this?
Well, you heard my impression when I had my little red sparkly dress on when I came down in the basement. No, she did an exceptional job. Her contractor did an exceptional job. It's expensive down there. I am just so proud of Madison. What she's doing with her home, what she's doing with her brand, and having that in-home studio. I mean, basically, she's positioned herself to be able to fucking sit home all day and just make her money from home and don't have to, run the streets. And I've been telling people before on these other videos for so long, people think TV. I got to get on TV. I got to get on TV. TV don't pay until it pay, okay? I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the slow section. TV don't pay until it pay. So in the meantime, in between time, you can sit home and make all your coins on the internet, and the internet is not going anywhere soon.
Nowhere.
The internet ain't going nowhere in the foreseeable future. So the fact that she's stepped her game up, she's got multiple sets in her basement. She can produce multiple shows out of her house. That is a blessing, and I'm happy for her. Leggra oversaw that project, and it was great.
Yes. No, the basement is sickening. The basement is beautiful, and they didn't even show all of the rooms that she has down there on the show. But the first thing I thought, I was like, where did this get all this money from?
The PPP loan. Next season, it's gonna be Madison ass walking out the federal building, bitch.
So the team gets back together, and we're talking about this big project that we have to do for Madison. So in real life, because I know a lot of people were asking me, was this just played up for camera? So I would tell y'all in real life, this is what happened. We went to Miami for a week. We found out officially that we had a cast project to do. We came back Wednesday. We shot that scene Friday. No, we shot that scene maybe Wednesday, Thursday. We shot the actual pilot 2 days later, and I had to present it 2 days later. So we did all of that within the span of 1 week. So it was serious around that place. Like everybody was freaking out, especially me.
It's one thing I want to point out, because somebody, you know, I hate when these fans and Twitter people and Instagram people, you know, one thing I do hate about being popular on social media is the fact that people sometimes get besides themselves and talk so matter-of-factly, like they know personally. And somebody, when we had seen with Sophia, somebody got in my comments and was like, "Oh, please, Q, y'all need to cut it out. We could tell y'all playing it up for the camera or whatever.
No.
Y'all doing such horrible acting." No, bitch. Sophia's ass, and let me take it a step further. We had to film early that morning because Sophia expressed she had a hard out.
Yes. Yes.
She kept expressing she come hell or high water, she had a hard out. So that added insult to injury, because it's like you shifted the entire production schedule up early in the morning now.
Yes.
We're here to accommodate you. Then you're not even here. Then when you get there, you joking and laughing or whatever the case may be. And now we've got to hurry up and rush and do what we got to do because you got a hard out. So no, there was a lot, and they cut that scene down, but it was a lot of pent up frustration surrounding Sophia and her tardiness.
And to expound on that a little bit more, we were filming with New York that day. We love New York, and New York love us, but New York had already made it clear, plain and simple, that she was not going to be fool along with us all day.
Right.
So once we got the time for Miss Sophia, New York was already in place. So all I see are the producers just worrying, like, okay, this is cutting into New York time. This is cutting into New York time. Miss Sophia was terribly, like, it wasn't even like a laughable 30 minutes, even a cute little hour, maybe. You know, she was horribly late, like horribly late. Yeah. And the energy was fucked up. So when I'm standing and I'm like, yeah, like, you know, let's be happy. We all happy. It's a good day. The energy was fucked up. And that banter between you and Sophia was way longer than that.
It was way longer, and it was so hilarious. And I hate it because, you know, it's a show, so they have to condense everything. But it was cute, though. We looked good, though. We looked good.
So something they also didn't expound on, and I was so, like, I don't know why they cut it out. Chi-Chi was noticeably missing throughout the whole day for the most part. Like, he was gone. There was a bomb-ass scene, TV-wise, shot after we filmed downstairs with Chi-Chi storming out. It was all the dramatics. I was like, why did they not put this in the show?
Oh, man. I wonder why it didn't make it.
I'm curious to know, and nobody told me this. I'm wondering, Bossman, if because, now I'm just going on the stretch, reel me back if I'm being too extreme, if because we were Black and gay, right, they didn't want to potentially, like, steer us in the wrong direction, like they wanted to reel us in just a little bit, maybe? Maybe?
A little more wholesome and less stereotypical and drama.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Maybe they wanted more like light, you know, light and fluffy and airy, not too heavy.
And if those were the intentions, I can definitely respect it. I can get jiggy with it.
Yeah, definitely. Because they did not lack on teachable moments throughout the season. They did not. So, okay. So we get down to it and come to find out the audio is fucked up.
And I know Madison probably had a damn conniption because I could see it all on her face. She was not happy.
So that was another theory out there. People thought the audio fucking up was like some ploy, some like, no, bitch. No. What fucking happened was, I can tell you the story.
No.
A real long story short, Madison had hired, I don't want to say his name, but the guy who she normally hires to do her, you know, short one, bald, whatever. I don't know what happened between them two, but whatever happened, the agreements was not, I don't know. But on the day of shooting, he was not there. He was supposed to come set up this sound equipment that Madison had purchased. So she got out that morning, and I guess her and Mo set it up the best way they possibly could. So when Oliver comes down there, who's only responsible for the camera and the post-editing, they like, we got new lapels, and they were very nice lapels. So I was like, okay, it's a new basement. Surely y'all got a new sound system. Boss Man, I didn't sleep at all those 2 days editing because I just wanted to make sure I got them something so we can say we did it. Like, you know, after all this shit, we finally did it. Man, I got to the last like 12 hours before I had to show up to set. And I just thought I was going to simply have to lay the audio down. I opened the audio up. That shit was fucked up.
Oh, wow.
Everybody got on the phone that day.
And after all that filming, like
after all that filming, it wasn't usable.
New York, like all of that stuff was bad.
Oh yeah, all of the audio, 100% of the audio was unusable. And I mean, I fought myself only because maybe I should have checked in, but under the assumption
Right.
We got a new basement. This is the day we all knew was coming. There's new mics here. I don't need to check mics.
Department. But it came together though. I mean, at least y'all were able to salvage some of it to put together the presentation. So that was good. Yeah,
and I really want to give a shout out to WeTV and World of Wonder because it really felt good to like have that ending. And I'm not gonna lie, and I would be a lie if I didn't say this. It felt extremely good that before the show ended, it felt like I had saved the day.
Yeah.
It felt good. And I really appreciated them for that.
I mean, it definitely positions you very well with people saying that you do good production and video quality and stuff. So yeah, you are now the go-to video production, commercial video, Instagram person. Mm-hmm.
And I fell out of the womb of Funky Dineva. Look at that. So the show is done. The day is saved. Do you think we're gonna get a season 2?
So I mean, the show is very entertaining. I think there's a market for everything. Yes, I think y'all will get a season 2. I would just be curious to know the direction. Saying as though like season 1 was all about trying to pursue this talk show thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'd just be curious to know what the creative direction would be. But no, I think now that the world has got introduced to this mixed bag of nuts, these misfits, I think the world wants more.
Yes, and I am rallying behind the scenes and on camera, because I'm going to say it out loud, for Funky Dineva to have a reoccurring role on season 2. A reoccurring role.
I'll come there now and play with y'all.
Boss Man, thank you so much for doing this with me. Is there anything you want to say before you go?
Y'all just be sure to catch me on YouTube every Friday night on Fox Soul, TGIF, and stay out the way and mind your business.
God damn it. Listen, y'all be sure to parade and kegel. Until next time. Bye.
Pray and kegel, oh my Lord.
Come home.